joining us for your most important meal of the day.
That's right. We are serving success strategies and system side dishes each Saturday here on Synergy Radio, 1480 AM.
So grab your coffee and your croissant and let's get down to business. We're your business breakfast hosts. I am Tiffany A. Washington.
And I am Joy Hutton Lacey. And we are so happy to be with you today. We're back in the studio.
We're back in the studio. We had a great time last week.
Yes, we did. Down there in the heat and Melodrama Boutique. But we are so glad to be back in the air conditioner.
Yes.
And you know, we always love giving you all tips on businesses, but we also like to give you resources that are here in the community. Whether you're in Houston or not, you know, we want to make sure that we show you what's out there that supports small businesses. And actually today, the Houston Area Urban League is hosting the Small Business Exchange, and that's something that's definitely good for small businesses to attend. It's from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. At United Way, 50 Waugh Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I will actually be there today co-hosting with Philip Yates, who's also a part of our Synergy family.
Yes.
And so I'll be there for a little bit. So looking forward to seeing you all. Good morning, Tristan. You are up early with us and all of our other listeners. So we are going to talk about these online businesses today, right?
Yes. This is one of my favorite things to talk about, mainly because it's so fun to explore all of the different options that are available for online businesses.
Yes.
So we're going to delve into that very deeply today. So let's start with defining exactly what a small business is.
Yes.
Now I'm going to give you the corporate definition.
Okay.
Okay, so y'all ready out there? An online business is any business on the internet that sells products, services, or advertising online. And the difference between a website and an online business is that the latter sells something using global communications and infrastructures of the internet. So that's what we got. So was that a mouthful?
Yes, it's a mouthful. You know, we always like to
give
give a lot of information, but it's important information. And generally, we like to start with the do's and don'ts before we jump into the fundamentals of our topics. So now that we know what an online business is, let's talk about some myths associated with launching an online business.
Yes, let's get into it.
All right. So, you know, passion alone is enough, but it's really not.
Yeah, that's a myth.
Exactly. That's a myth.
Yeah.
You'll often hear business gurus, coaches tell you to follow your passion to profit. And what happens in between, though, if passion equals profit, wouldn't everyone drive a Benz?
Oh, yes, Lord.
I mean, fly a private jet, live a life of luxury, because I wish my passion did turn into profit. You know, because I'd be rich. I'd be rich.
Yes.
You know, so passion alone is not enough. You have to have more than that. And speaking about the profit side, you know, the next myth is you don't need any capital to get started.
Right. And that's a huge myth.
Even if you need 5 cents, you got to have something. You know, every online business or any business takes something.
Exactly.
You know, you have to have, even just opening a business checking account, they want you to deposit something.
Exactly.
So you have to contribute, you know, and so that's just not true. And although you don't have to have a 6-figure savings account to launch an online business, you do need some capital to establish a foundation.
Absolutely.
And there are plenty of free services on the internet, but they tend to be free for a reason. So we want to be careful about that.
You get what you pay for.
Exactly. So be careful with that. And, you know, because free services are generally inadequate for growing a real business. And so you want to have some basic things, you know, established before you really get out there, and you want to show that you're legitimate, you know, like securing your domain name, having a website host, getting your logo done.
Yes, and not just the logo that Pookie makes on the weekends. I just want to throw that out there.
Exactly.
You need somebody professional to make your logo.
Yes. Okay. You know, so there are marketing and advertising expenses. You have licenses, fees, taxes, more. You know, there are a lot of things that you have to consider. And, you know, those of you who are kind of on the edge of wanting to start an online business, it's not to discourage you from attempting to start an online company because,
Right.
you know, we do want those coins before the holiday.
Absolutely.
This is a good time to start an online business, but it's just to give you a little dose of reality. And you've got to have some capital to launch your business because it's a startup.
Right. And I hear and see a lot of people posting on Facebook how to start your business for $100 or less. Well, that may get you some very basic things.
Right.
But it's very hard to start your business for such a nominal amount.
Yes.
So you want to consider that, and also consider what type of infrastructure you want to have for your business. But in
Right.
general, just be ready. So
Exactly.
go ahead and put your coins to the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And really with that, Tiffany, before you even start the business, have your coins together.
You know, that is probably one of the most profound things that we've said over the course of these shows. Before you even start, the foundation has to be laid. So you don't just go into business to start a business. You will have already been thinking about that business.
You have that plan in
Yeah.
place. And that's not to say that you have any investors, because the other misconception is that you need to have investors before you pursue your idea. And you don't. But again, do what makes sense.
Right.
And, you know, unless you're a seasoned entrepreneur who can boast a track record of bringing ideas to the table and making it an overnight success, then just do it smart. Do it smart. Okay, what's next on the list, Tiffany?
Well, the next myth is that social media alone is enough.
Ooh.
Now.
That's a good one. That's social media.
There is vast research
Yes.
about social media and how social media has tempted many online entrepreneurs to assume that launching a successful business is as easy as developing a grassroots social media marketing campaign. So if all I had to do was just post to my page every day, you
Right.
know, and maybe do a couple of Facebook ads, that's not true.
Exactly.
So what we will admit is that social media is a powerful tool and
free.
It's free, very low budget.
Yes.
But very few businesses are able to use it effectively enough to foster an idea from the ground up. And so what does that mean? You need to understand the logistics of social media marketing. You need to understand what's going on behind the scenes with all of these particular functions that are going on within these social media markets. So that's a myth in and of itself.
Right.
So if you're not well versed in your social media strategy, then you probably want to get a strategist, because there are people who spend time studying this.
Exactly.
What are the new algorithms that are coming out? If
What
I do
social media is
this,
right for you.
Exactly. What social media is right for you? If I do this, then how will it affect this? You need to know those ins and outs.
Right.
Also, another one, you know, I love to talk about jobs, honey. So another myth is that you can keep your full-time job. Now, that's true to a certain degree.
Right.
You know,
You have a side gig. If you want to make it a
right.
side gig, sure.
Exactly. If that's the layout and that's what your business plan says, that this will forever be a side hustle for you, then that's one mindset to carry forth. But and we talked about side hustles a few
Right.
weeks ago.
Yes.
But if you are really trying to grow and scale your business, you're not going to be able to keep your full-time job after so long.
Exactly.
You'll be running on adrenaline while you're doing your 9-to-5 plus your business. But that is not sustainable.
Right.
You know, so you need to make sure that you're thinking ahead in terms of how you're going to scale that business that you have. And so this is not to say that you should quit your job
Right.
as soon as you have an idea.
Right.
Don't do that.
Be smart about it. Be smart about it, okay?
Yeah, and you may spend months on your new idea,
Yes.
just vetting it, making sure that it's right. But you need to also be building up your living expenses so that you can continue to fund your business as you transition out of your 9-to-5.
Right. Absolutely. And then lastly, you know, online business owners are casual globetrotters. You know, people think, you know, being an online business owner is living the dream, and it could be.
Yeah.
But you have to put in the work. You still have to put in the work. And so you're not, you know, online business owners are not just traveling and jet setting. They're putting in work
Right.
to travel.
Absolutely.
Okay, because you got to have some coins to rub together to do that. And, you know, so it's not all glamorous. Starting a business, you have to put in the work. So Having a home base where you can concentrate and establish continuity, that's important. We talked about home-based businesses a couple weeks ago, and so definitely having that established and having some good systems in place so that you can scale your business.
Right.
So we will talk more about mistakes to avoid when starting an online business when we come back, and you can reach us at 832-230-5592. Also like our page, Business Breakfast Talk Show. And we are back. We were giving you all some myths about starting an online business. And you all, we like to start off with the ugly first before we get into the good stuff, because we want you to know the reality of starting and running a business. That's very important here. That's what we are here to do. Tiffany here gives you clarity on what you want to do for your business, and I help you execute that strategy. So, you know, we really want to give you this information so that you can take it and actually put it into practice. So we talked about the myths, Tiffany. So now we're going to get into mistakes to avoid.
Yes. Now, we always make mistakes because we're human, right?
Right.
But Joy, what is the number one mistake that people make?
Woo! How many times have we talked about not having a plan,
Yes.
Tiffany? Not having a plan.
Yes.
Not having a plan. People, have a plan. You don't need to have a formal business plan at the very start of your business, even though it's good to have one, but you still need a plan. People, you know, regard the business plan as homework. They don't want to do it, but planning helps.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Planning leads to success.
It does, and it's also good to note that your plan will change over the course of time, especially in your first, second, third year of business, because you're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. But if you don't have anything, then there's no documentation to let you know the progress you've made or some of the adjustments you need to make.
Exactly. And no one is saying that you have to draft a 20-page business plan. We've talked about the components that you need in a business plan. But again, you need to know who your customers are, what you are selling, what people are willing to pay for your product or service, and work out how much cash you have.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't have any money, well, there goes your plan. So, you know, we don't have anything to talk about. Focusing too much on the little stuff.
Yeah.
You know, first you need to get your business off the ground. And then you start worrying about, business cards and, we just talked about having the logo and all that stuff. You need to have your marketing stuff in order, your marketing house in order for legitimacy.
Right.
But while you're working on your plan, make sure your business structure is tight.
Right.
Think about the important things like having insurance.
Yes.
That's important. You don't want to get too caught up. I mean, you can pop out a business card real quick and worry about, crafting a better design later.
Right.
And no one's saying do it, because I've seen some janky business cards.
We're not
So-
that's another show probably. I can talk for days about that.
So, but your time is valuable, and you should be putting that into developing your business instead of concentrating on tasks that will not help propel your business to the next level.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and also not worrying about money.
Right.
And so we talked a little bit about money in the first segment, but you do need to keep your eyes on your money.
Right.
There's a very good chance that your company will run out of money before it makes any.
Yes.
So you need to know how much cash you've got to run your business and what your burn rate is.
Woo.
And make sure that you have a plan to try to get more
Right.
before you run out. Because the last thing you want to do is have to go back
Yes.
to your 9 to 5
Yes.
after you've already quit your job.
Right.
Because you burned through all of your money and you didn't have a solid plan in place for the
No
items
money.
you would have to spend money on.
No money.
Yeah.
That's the worst place to
Yeah.
be. And when you're doing that too, when you are thinking about the burn rate and all those other things, your budget, don't undervalue what you're selling.
Yes.
I mean, we have to have a show specifically on pricing
Right.
your business, because
That's
a
good.
lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
And so you want to set a price that shows what you're valued.
Right.
Because we talked about this before, but setting the bar low, then people are going to expect that all the time.
Right.
Well, you were $50 an hour when you first started. Yeah, but we're not doing
But
that
you know
today.
what? The more experience that you get, the
Yes.
more valuable you are.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, if you know that right now $50 is too much for your audience, but that's what you want to charge, then you may be speaking to the wrong audience too.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
another piece of what you have to consider who
Absolutely.
your target market is, because they need to make a certain dollar too. That's
Right.
all about your avatar. But that's
Yes.
another show.
Exactly. And, ignoring customer service. We've talked about how reviews and all of those things, reviews and customer complaints can affect your business. But especially when you are an online business, it's easy to forget that customers are people
Yeah.
who are more likely to return to your website if they have a good experience. So make sure you have some way of interacting with the people that are visiting your site, whether that's through a live chat, a survey, email, phone, whatever that is, to engage your customers, because that gives them a connection to you.
Right. There are so many tools out there to help you to be a better customer service based business.
Right.
Because just yesterday, as a matter of fact, I didn't receive a digital product that I purchased from someone. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm ready to,
Right. Right.
And I emailed their company, and within the hour, I had an email back saying,
That's good.
hey, here it is attached. Again, we sent it to you, but we've
Right.
attached it to this email
Exactly.
just in case.
And that's good customer service.
That's good customer service.
Right.
So now I know that that person is trustworthy,
Right.
and that I can spend money with them again and know that I'm going to get exactly what I paid for.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's being responsive.
Yes.
Now, no one is saying that you personally have to respond at 3 o'clock in the morning to the
Exactly.
emails, because, we talked about client dependency, customer dependency,
Right.
where you can't remove yourself from your business because your customers are so dependent on you. And they're like, no, but I want Tiffany to respond to my email.
Right. Yeah.
But you're not going to get Tiffany.
You're not gonna get
Sorry.
Tiffany.
It
Not
may
at
say
3 o'clock in the
Tiffany
morning.
at Transformation. But, so you don't want to create that client dependency, but you do want to be responsive to your customers' needs and offer them the opportunity to give feedback as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Giving away too much and getting nothing in return. Was there an echo? I think there was an echo. Giving away too much and getting nothing in
Oh, my
return.
goodness, that sounds like it
Man,
hit you in your soul.
Girl,
girl.
it did, because people were like, Oh, can I just talk to you for 5 minutes?
Yes.
But that's going to cost you.
Yeah.
I just, listen, you have to know your value, know your worth, and stop giving away your free advice or free products.
Yeah.
Because I love my family and friends, but guess what? I have bills to pay.
Exactly.
So, you know, you cannot continue to give free products and services away.
Right. And, you know, people say, can I just pick your brain for a moment? Or I just have a question for you.
Right.
And, you know, once your business starts to take off, you'll find that you get that more and more. People want
Yes.
to just talk to you for a second. Or
Yes.
can I have 10 minutes of your time? Or can
Right.
I take you to coffee? You know, all of those things
Yes.
are good in strategy.
Yes.
However, you have to be very mindful. Because
Right.
if I go out with everybody who wants to get information
Yes.
from me, then I've just given away thousands of dollars
Thousands
in
of dollars.
nuggets.
Yes, that
Yeah,
adds up.
it adds
If you
up.
add your time and the value of that time up, you will be hurting.
Right.
It's like, so I just forfeited all that money.
Mhm.
You know, so think about that. And it's okay to give a little.
Right.
You know, but because you want to turn someone into a long-term customer, so the conversion rate between giving just a little something,
Right.
like for example, ebooks. You know,
Yeah.
you have ebooks, so I'm going to show you about 3 pages,
Mhm.
but I'm
Yeah.
not giving you the whole ebook.
Right. So,
You have to pay for that.
Yes. I'll give
So,
you a sampling.
right, I'm
Mhm.
going to show you just a little bit,
Mhm.
but you know, we live in a society where people just want stuff for free, but I'm like, do I come to your job asking you for stuff for free?
Right. And you know, the other thing that we have to remember is that we have to teach people how to treat us.
Yes,
especially in
absolutely.
business,
You set the
because
tone
some
early.
People don't realize that that's rude, or that asking to spend an hour on the phone with you is actually a consultation.
Absolutely.
At this point,
Yes,
you know?
exactly. That's
So-
right.
So you have to let people know and educate them on
Yes.
how to walk in business with you
Right.
if they want to consume the information that
Right.
you have
to
give.
set the tone earlier.
Mhm.
So we talked about social media, but spreading yourself too thin on social media. When you're starting off with marketing and building your brand, test out 1 or 2 main social media audiences where you know, or social media platforms where you know your audience is, and you can build a customized audience with a small budget.
Right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you don't even have to invest any money. It just depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Mhm.
So don't blow your advertising budget on all these ads, because that might not yield you a return on your investment. So you have to think about that. So, you know, the general rule is that Facebook and Pinterest tend to be better for product sales, but Facebook can also be good for service-based businesses as well. So
Yeah.
it just really depends. You have to know where your particular audience is. And LinkedIn is the better feel for a business personality.
Mhm.
And so it just depends.
Well, there. Just before we continue, I just wanted to give a shout out to the people that are on Facebook
Yes,
with us
yes.
this morning.
Good
We have
morning.
quite a few viewers with us this morning. So, hi Sharita, hi Sheila, hi Fisha, hi Nicole Lopez Cummins.
Trisha,
Yes.
Alfonso.
Mhm.
Yes. Did we say
Yeah.
Sharita too?
Yeah,
Okay.
we said Sharita.
Yes. Good
Yeah,
morning,
good
Morris.
morning,
We
everybody.
miss you.
Good morning, Andrea. I saw Christian Cabello join. So we have a few people who are with us this morning. Thank you for
Yes,
being with us
of
early
course.
this morning.
Of course.
Don't forget to ask your questions in the comments as we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
If you have questions, we're checking on Facebook to make sure we answer those.
Absolutely. So we left off, we were talking about social media. So, you know, we talk about the things that you need in terms of starting a business. And so even though you have an online business, you can't forget about hiring people.
Right.
That's really important. Don't sell yourself short on hiring people. Entrepreneurs rush through the hiring process because they need to quickly fill positions in order to scale their business. But you might be replacing those people sooner than you think if
Exactly.
you're hiring for the wrong reasons. So, you know, don't run the risk of experiencing these problems down the road, because you may have a mismatch in skill set. And I always like to say that hire for value before you hire for skills, because you can't teach value.
Right.
If someone doesn't want to work for you, it's a done deal.
That's good.
You know, but you can teach someone skills. You can train someone to do the job, but you cannot teach someone to find the value in your company.
Right.
So it's very important to take that hiring process very seriously.
You know what? And to add to that, I definitely agree with what you say about hiring for value. But when you are looking for particular skills that need to happen in order for you to run your business appropriately, make sure you vet that person.
Absolutely.
Appropriately. You know, just a transparent story, I hired someone to do some of my social media. This was last year. And, but what I failed to do was look at her page to see what she was doing on her own page. And so those are some of the things you want to pay attention to. But we'll get back into that.
Yes,
when we
absolutely.
come back, and we'll continue with this conversation. Don't forget to comment on Facebook or to call us at 832-230-5592. We'll be right back.
All right.
This is JJ on the mic. Look, be sure to stay connected to Synergy Radio in your house, in your office, Synergy Radio Network, where it all comes together.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Parker with Table Talk with Tiffany.
And I'm co-host Natalie Jones, the sous chef of radio,
where we turn the tables on food, culture, and lifestyle. If you're interested in knowing the history of the foods we eat, exploring cultural food differences and similarities, and many other topics, including all of your favorite cuisines, Table Talk with Tiffany is where you should be every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m.
right here on Synergy Radio Network, where it all comes together.
It's the fall season and the time changes for everyone, even Zakia Larry Live. Join us at our new time at 1 p.m. Central, still on Mondays, so make sure you guys tune in. From Synergy Radio Network and ZakiaLarryLive.com, we have people who are at their desk at work who are listening. Have lunch with me every Monday, 1 p.m. for Real Life. You said something that literally changed my life. Real talk, real change. It's Zakia Larry Live.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for all of us. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Just checking. Just checking. Is it where you can turn the vocals down just a little bit? I have it right in here.
Hey, what's up? It's Lil J. Sean.
And Asia. Tune into the Shake and Bake Show every Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
We're interviewing your favorite rappers, singers, actors, everybody. Hey, we're giving away some special keys on this.
We're giving away gifts. We're interviewing our own mentors from the industry and bringing you all of the best advice.
Make sure y'all tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Woo!
The Shake and Bake Show.
The Shake and Bake. Well, let's call it the Shake and Bake.
Synergy Radio will continue to bring you all the voices you know and love. Are you ready for talk that inspires change?
And we are back. Tiffany, you were telling us about one of your horror stories with hiring someone that didn't meet your expectations, but that's really important. And so, you know, we'll lead into kind of underestimating, you know, this notion about what it takes to succeed in a business. You know, there are so many things that people forget about, and that's why we're here on the Business Breakfast Talk Show, to give you those tools that you need. But we've talked about, you know, work-life balance. Right. And some people don't like the word balance, but, you know, you can call it what you want. Mm-hmm. You have to carve out time for yourself. Absolutely. And you have to take the time that you need for your business. Big ideas do not come when you're trying to manage every minute of your time, and they don't come when you are multitasking. You know, technically, you know, the brain is not set up to multitask. Yes. They come when you are focused on one thing. Let everything else fade to black. Right. You know, and that's so important. You know, I've heard this word so much this year, focus. Mm-hmm. It's so important because in starting any type of business, whether it's online, a brick and mortar, you have to focus on what it is the goal of your company is. Mm-hmm. You know, because I want to do everything. I want to have 20 businesses, but guess what? That's not going to happen today.
Right.
So I have to focus on one thing at a time and master one thing at a time.
I think that's the key word, mastering something
Yes.
before you move on to the next thing. You know, sometimes we do have to juggle many different pieces in our business.
Right.
But if you're getting ready for a big launch, perhaps,
Mhm.
that's the one thing you need to be focused on.
Absolutely.
You know, not all of the other little nitpicky stuff that gets in the way of
Right.
you attaining your goal.
Right. And, you know, one size does not fit all. What worked for someone else may not work for you.
Absolutely.
Okay, because somebody else might have had a little more money or some different resources. So don't try to compare yourself to another company. I mean, it's great to see what another competitor is doing so that you can make yourself stand out. But, you know, it's not one size fits all.
Right. And so don't believe the hype when people are telling you, I did it and you can do it too.
Right.
But you don't know. The thing about it
You don't know what they did.
You don't know what they did. You don't know all of the behind the scenes nooks and crannies. And people share their stories, but they only share so much
Exactly.
of it. That's why you're paying them.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So you want to remember that as you move forward. You may not be able to do it just like the person that you look up to most.
Right.
You know?
But you do want to test your product or service out because, you know, you want to make sure that what you're doing, we talked about this, is a viable idea.
Absolutely.
Is it going to work in your particular marketplace? And it's best to do this with minimal financial and resource risk.
Yes, and that kind of segues into how you start your online
Yes,
business.
this is what you guys have been waiting for.
Yes, and so how do we start selling things online? How do
Yes.
we start doing things online? Joy just said it. First, you need to find the need, and you need to fill it. Okay,
Right.
so that means just vetting your idea, do keyword research and find keywords that a lot of people are searching for, but not many sites are competing in that particular space. And you check out your competitors by visiting their sites and taking notes of what they're doing. So
Right.
that's what you have to do first. And then, this is one of my favorite pieces, you have to write copy that sells.
Ooh, yes.
And so the word copy in this sense means the wording that you use in order to get sales.
The content.
The content that you use, okay? So there's a proven sales copy formula that takes visitors through the selling process from the moment they arrive to the moment that they make a purchase. So from your landing page and what they see on that to the moment that they go through your whole sales funnel and make that purchase at the end, okay?
Yes,
So
yes.
you have to arouse interest with a compelling headline. You have to describe the problem that your product solves.
Always.
Yes, and then you also have to establish your credibility as a solver of
Right.
this problem.
And don't be out there lying either.
Yes.
You know, because if FDA did not approve your product, guess what? Do not put
do
FDA on there.
Exactly.
You know, be honest about what your product does and have testimonials, right?
Right. And this is not just for inventors or people who have things in that space, but this is also if you're writing an ebook even.
Yes.
How is your ebook solving a problem?
Right.
What are you talking about and why are you an expert in that particular area?
Right.
And then you also want to add testimonials from people who've used your product or
Yes.
service. And this is a very compelling factor for a lot of people. And I know when I get ready to buy, especially a large purchase, I want to see what other people are saying about
Yes.
it organically.
Yes.
You know, and then not only am I going to look at that sales page, I'm probably going to go back to their social media page
Right.
too and see what their interaction is like with their other clients.
Right. Look at the
You know?
reviews.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that that piece is up to par. And then you also want to talk about the product and how it benefits the user.
Yes.
So what am I getting out of it?
Right.
And then you want to make the offer. After all of that other stuff we just talked about, make your offer because in business, closed mouths do not get fed.
That's right.
So say, okay, I've given you all of this. These are all of the benefits. This is why
Yes.
I'm great at doing it. And this is how much it's going to cost.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. And then make a strong guarantee, meaning what is this product assured to do for the customer.
Right.
And then create some urgency around it. Maybe the offer disappears after a certain amount of time, or maybe if you do it within a certain amount of time, you get additional bonuses. That's how you create urgency. And then finally, you ask for the sale.
Right.
So I know that, and that's in a nutshell.
Yes, yes.
That's in a nutshell. So when you start to research writing copy, if writing is not your thing,
have someone else do it.
Exactly.
We have to know our strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly.
And sales is something that's really an art, but you can learn it, and we will have a show on sales in the future because you really have to know how to drive your audience to your product and service.
Absolutely.
So that's really good information.
Yeah.
What about, building a website, right? That's important.
Yeah, building a website is so important, and you need to build this after you've nailed down your selling process. Okay, so because one thing about websites is if you don't choose the right platform, it can be more permanent than fluid.
Absolutely.
And so you really want to make sure you have a good hold on your process of selling so that your website can be set up in that format.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's engaging.
Exactly. So quick tips for building your website. Choose plain fonts. Well, I wouldn't even say plain fonts, but choose 2 complementary fonts.
Right.
That's why I hire somebody to do mine.
Exactly.
Because they're designers.
Right. Not my calling.
Yes. But you also need to make your website simple. Now, and that's just in general. When you go to a website, you don't want to have to do 15 different clicks to get to where you want to be.
Yes.
And then use graphics, audio, or video if they enhance your message. And video is booming right now, so you at least want to have 1 or 2 videos on your actual site.
Right.
And then you also want to include an opt-in offer so you can collect email addresses. Now, that word opt-in, what that means is you're giving your consumer something in exchange for them giving you their email address. So what you want to do is make sure that that's a compelling offer that you're giving. A free checklist, a cheat sheet, a mini ebook, something that is going to really grab the attention of the person that you want to be on your email list, because that's where the money is.
Yes.
The money is in the list.
In the list.
Exactly.
In the list.
Yes. And then finally, you want to make it easy to buy, as I was saying earlier. So no more than a couple of clicks. And your website is your online storefront, so you need to make sure that it's customer friendly.
Yeah, there are so many websites where it's difficult to navigate. It's like I can't find what I'm looking for. You definitely want to make that user experience, because think about yourself as a customer. What do you want? Make the same experience for your potential customers. So I think we always have to remember when we are selling a product or service, how would I want to be treated?
Right.
We have to put ourselves in their shoes. And, to your point about the websites as well, using search engines to drive your targeted buyers to your site. There's all this talk about SEO and search engine optimization, but it works.
Yeah.
Because people search for specific things. And you want to make sure that you're targeting your audience. And, they have pay per click advertising, which is usually the easiest way to get traffic to your brand new site. It has 2 advantages over waiting for the traffic to come to you organically.
Right.
1, the ads show up on the search pages immediately. And then 2, the ads allow you to test different keywords. So you can see what's working, what's not. You can test out headlines, prices, different selling approaches. And I think that's great because, you're losing a little bit of money. But at least you can see what people are responding to.
Yeah.
So not only do you get immediate traffic, but you can also use these pay-per-click ads to discover your best your best keywords to use.
Absolutely. And that's invaluable, really, because you'll make your money back once you start attracting the right customers because of your SEO.
Right. And then these keywords can then be incorporated into your website, because that'll also pop up in searches, your website, based on what people search for in these search engines.
And then also, as you're doing that, you're starting to create an expert reputation for yourself.
Right.
All right. So when you are building your online business, people want to know that you are worthy of talking about whatever it is that you're talking about. So people use the internet to find information, and what you want to start out by doing is providing some information for free to other sites, and you'll see much more traffic and better search engine rankings. But you always want to include a link to your site with each tidbit of information that you give. So if you have a blog, you want to include some links inside of there to other pieces and other places where you also reside as far as online space is concerned. So, but when you're giving away free expert advice, as we talked about earlier, the two main things you want to give the what, and you want to give the why. You know, what is it and why do I need it? Why is it important? But you don't want to give too much of the how, because the how is what gets you paid. That's what gets you paid. So if you're telling everybody how to do something, if I have a brand for skincare, I'm not going to tell you how the ingredients are mixed.
Exactly, because you can just go make it yourself.
Because you can just go make it yourself. But I'm going to tell you why you need my skincare products.
That's right.
Yeah, and what it's used for. So we'll talk more about that, because we can talk all day about this expert content piece. But we will be right back. If you have any questions, give us a call at 832-230-5592 or leave us a comment on Facebook. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Synergy Radio Network. We'll be back after these messages.
Just checking.
Just checking.
Is there a way you can turn the vocals down just a little bit? I have it right in here.
Hey, what's up? It's Lil J. Sean.
And Asia. Tune into the Shake and Bake Show every Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
We're interviewing your favorite rappers, singers, actors, everybody. Hey, we're giving away some special keys on this.
We're giving away gifts. We're interviewing our own mentors from the industry and bringing you all of the best advice.
Make sure y'all tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Woo!
The Shake and Bake Show.
The Shake and Bake. Well, let's call it the Shake and Bake.
Attention churches and nonprofit organizations, Dawson Chemical and Janitorial Supply Company has all the chemicals and janitorial supplies you need. Toilet tissue, paper towels, trash can liners, styrofoam cups, plates, and more. They also offer churches and nonprofit organizations 10% discounts and free same-day delivery. So give us a call today at 713-697-7137. Mr. Dawson has been supplying Houston area large and small congregations for over 36 years and has 3 area locations to serve all of your paper, chemical, and janitorial supply needs. Dawson Chemical also sells commercial janitorial equipment, buffers, vacuum cleaners, steam cleaners, wet and dry vacs, and more. We also repair all types of janitorial equipment and provide a full line of pest control for your do-it-yourself convenience. So give us a call today at 713-697-7137 and let Dawson Chemical meet all of your paper and chemical supply needs. Again, call us at 713-697-7137. We look forward to your call. Any church that spends $100 will get a $25 gift certificate that can be used with your current purchase.
Hey, this is Tasha Evans, and we are so excited about the upcoming Empowered Summit on December 15th at 5 p.m. The Empowered Summit is a spiritual audit and a transformational movement that is sponsored by the Stacy and Bo Porter Self Foundation. Register today at BoPorterEnterprise.com.
This is Bo Porter. Join me at the Empowered Summit and be a champion for Christ.
This is Tiffany A. Washington, host of the Business Breakfast Talk Show, and you're listening to Synergy Radio Network, where it all comes together.
Good morning, Business Breakfast Talk Show family. We are back. It is a beautiful day here at Synergy Radio Network. And if you're just joining us, we've been talking about how to build your online business.
Yes, so much information, Tiffany. And we have a lot. We might have to do a part 2 to this show.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get through everything
I don't
today.
think so. It's so much goodness wrapped up.
Yes, yes. But we're going to push right along. We left off at talking about the, what was it, the list and the expert, the expert reputation. So you know, and that goes into, you know, using the power of email marketing to turn visitors into buyers. You know, you talked about the power in the list. And so when you build a list, you're creating one of the most valuable assets of your online business. Right. Your customers and subscribers have given you permission. Okay, permission. Because don't take people's email addresses and add them to your list. We talked about.
May I? I'm sorry. Because this just happened to me this last week. I got a random email from a business and did not sign up for their list.
Yes.
And so, of course, because we do this show every week, and because individually we're on different platforms, people see your email address.
Yes.
But that does not, just because our email addresses are public, that does not mean automatically add us.
I did not ask you to be added to the newsletter.
And the thing about it is, it's not benefiting you if I don't want to know more information about your business in the first place.
Right.
So I'm just a dead or lame duck, if you will. I'm just sitting there dead in the water because I don't want your product. And then I will eventually unsubscribe when I have the time to get around to it.
Right.
So right now I'm just annoyed.
Yes, clearly. She on fire. She's on fire, y'all. Yes, we touched
that's business etiquette.
It is. We touched a little sensitive spot. Okay.
Yeah, just like, what did you have earlier? It was in your heart.
Ground. No, I just.
It's all good.
Oh, man. So, you know, they give you permission to send them emails. So that means, as you said earlier, you're giving them something in return. Right. And you're giving them something that they asked for, okay? Exactly. Because I didn't ask for information about fitness and, you know, I just, you know, maybe I do.
It made me feel a little offended.
Exactly.
You know, I'm talking about the fitness.
Yes.
What makes you know that I want to be more fit?
So you're saying I needed to be on this list. Okay, I got it. I got it. But you're developing lifetime relationships with your customer base. Right. And the response is measurable. So I know, like with MailChimp and Constant Contact, you can see things on the back end. You can see who opened your email, how many times they opened it. And I think that's great because you can measure, okay, is this content reaching my customers? Because if you have a 10% open rate, then people do not like what you're putting out there. So you have to reassess. And email marketing is cheaper and more effective than print sometimes because TV or radio is highly targeted. And, you know, anyone who visits your site and actually opts into your list is very hot.
Yes.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. And you need to jump all over them like white on rice.
Yes.
You do, because that is when the relationship is most pliable. They're ready and they're primed to actually purchase something from you. So you just have to take them through your funnel sequence and you'll get sales from that.
Absolutely. And so speaking of sales, one of the most important internet marketing strategy is to develop every customer's lifetime value. So at least 36% of people who have purchased from you once will buy from you again if you follow up with them. Now, if you just, you know, don't follow up with your customers and don't cultivate that relationship, as we said, they're probably not going to come back to you. But closing that first sale is by far the most difficult part, not to mention the most expensive because there are several touch points that you have as well. So use back-end selling and upselling them to buy again. So offering products that complement their original purchase, sending out an electronic loyalty coupon that they can redeem on their next visit, or offering related products on your thank you page after they purchase. So it's like, come back, click on this, I got you, 10% off. You know, so creating that loyalty with that customer.
Yeah, and to add to that piece, you want to make sure that when you're creating loyalty with someone that you don't overdo it.
Exactly.
Either. You know, you want to make sure that you're cultivating relationships, but it doesn't just seem like you're after them for their money.
Right.
Because you want to make sure that you cultivate a relationship that is genuine.
Exactly. So, Tiffany, what are some ways to get prepared for that launch? You know, we talked about how to actually start the online business, but what are some ways, you know, we have limited time left, so we're going to go through this pretty quickly, guys, but what are some ways to actually prepare for that launch?
Okay, so one of the ways is to prepare your social network. So that means you need to claim your name, choose your social networks wisely, and set up your profile and cover photos. And so these are some of the just basic general guidelines.
Right.
You also want to build a following and start connecting. And just to spend a little bit more time there, when you are building your following, this is the most difficult and time-intensive part of preparing for your launch, okay?
Absolutely.
So that means that you need to be showing up on a regular basis. You need to be showing up consistently, and people need to start to trust you as you show up. And then you also need to get your email marketing ready. You know, one of our followers on Facebook said something very critical about our marketing. It's just basically you need to know what you're doing.
Right.
You know, so get your
if you don't market yourself, how do people know who you are and what you're doing?
Exactly. So you need to choose your email provider, as we've already talked about. Set up your templates and launch a campaign. Decide what that's going to look like. And also launch your landing page.
Yeah.
You know, when you launch your landing page, that means you don't necessarily have a full-blown website for a particular product or service.
But you're driving that traffic.
You're driving the traffic.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talked about measurables, installing, you know, Google Analytics. You can put your website, just plugging your website into Google Analytics, and you can see who's visiting your site. That's really, really important because, again, that helps you establish your target audience and who you're actually reaching, so you're not wasting time with wasted paid advertising.
Right, exactly. And then you also want to do what else, Joy?
Right. We talked about the keyword search. That's important. Building your online store, that's a whole other beast, you know, because the e-commerce platform, you know, you have to choose the right store theme, the store design, the product photography, the descriptions, all these different things, any plugins that will make the user experience a little better, you know, all those things are very important. And then before you launch, you want to define key performance indicators to monitor going forward. So there are several things that are considered key performance indicators. And so, you know, whether that's monthly sales, you know, because you can review these things on the back end. Your average order size, you know, your conversion rate, how many people leave stuff in the cart.
Right, exactly.
Because, you know, that's important. Why is it sitting in the cart? And what can you do to entice them to buy? You know, Brandy was mentioning that when she was on our show, like, well, we saw you were shopping, you know, how about a little discount? So those things are really important. And just looking at how many people are subscribing to you, all of those things.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes.
We have so much information about your online presence.
Yes.
But we're not going to be able to get through all of it today.
But we can tell you some quick types of online businesses that you can start.
Let's do that.
And then we want you to join us here next Saturday. We may give you a little more tips on online businesses, but we want to definitely make sure you have an idea of what are some online businesses that you can start.
Yeah. So some of the businesses you can start. So we'll talk through some of those today: web design, graphic design, writing, online, e-commerce, voiceover services.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Coaching.
Do you like my voice?
Coaching. A digital and virtual assistant, online courses, writing an ebook, doing tutoring, blogging, social media management, that's what we said, consultant, photographer, podcasting, so many things that you can do.
Right.
So if you have enjoyed listening to us today, like our page, Business Breakfast Talk Show.
Yes, like our page, Business Breakfast Talk Show. If you have not shared out this video yet, please share the love. So don't dine alone. Invite someone else to breakfast this morning. And we want to see you right back here next week. So if you have more questions about creating a business strategy, then you can send an inquiry to Joy.
Yes.
And if you have more questions about getting clarity about where to start with your brand, then you can send an inquiry to me.
Yes.
So we will see you all next week. So go out and conquer those online businesses and please spread the love. Share this video.
Breakfast is served.
Synergy Radio will continue to bring you all the voices you know and love. Are you ready for talk that inspires change?
Follow and like us on Facebook at Synergy Radio Network. Visit our website at www.synergyradionetwork.com.
Hey, this is JJ on the mic. Look, be sure to stay connected to Synergy Radio in your house, in your office. Synergy Radio Network, where it all comes together.
We are now Synergy Radio. Powerful talk that inspires change.
I love this station.